a preview of this. There could be technological glitches here, and we know how that works. This is the age that we're in, and we'll work around them. So welcome to everybody. I don't know if all of you know what Ashby Village is. It's a nationwide movement of villages to help older people stay in their homes and thrive. And
sorry,
please mute yourself. Whoever mute yourself. Okay, so Ashby Village is your host today, and we welcome all of you wherever you are, either as members of Ashby Village or volunteers or guests from all over the place. And Friedrich and Rebecca, I'm going to introduce them now. So I am Julie Freestone, and I'm a member of the Ashby Village Board of Directors. And I am delighted to introduce Rebecca Roost and Friedrich Edelmann. They are friends and colleagues of mine and my husband, Rudy Robb, and we actually did a book tour with them in Germany. So normally they would be coming to the Bay Area to play a variety of venues, including on the UC campus, Filoli Gardens, all kinds of other places. And today they're coming to you from a small village in Germany with no heat, they said. So they have played together in duos, trios, and larger chamber music groups for over 30 years. And from their home base in Germany, this husband and wife team performs in America and Europe and Japan, including radio and TV productions, and now for us on Zoom. So just a little bit of their background, and you can find out more about them on their website as well. So I'm not going to give you all the details because I know you want to hear their music. So they've performed all over Germany and Italy and many other places. And I just single this out because they were invited by the Emperor of Japan to do a number of events there. And one of the highlights, it says on their website, was a private concert and meeting with the Emperor and the Empress. And at the end of the 2-hour visit, Rebecca played with the Empress on the piano, which must be a memory embedded in your mind forever, I'd say. So they've performed extensively in Italy with a dance theater production of Duck, Death, and Tulip, which is quite an amazing production. So Rebecca grew up in Richmond, California, and her father was a beloved high school teacher at El Cerrito High. She received her first piano lesson from her mother at the age of 5 and began cello lessons at the age of 9 at Stanford and UC Berkeley. So she plays a cello that was built in I don't know if you could say built, but yes. Created, is that built? Okay, in 1791, and it was formerly owned by Prince Charles. So while she makes these amazing sounds from her instrument, you will think about that. And Friedrich grew up in Kaiserslautern, Germany. After he got a diploma in mathematics in Heidelberg, he joined the orchestra in Kaiserslautern for 3 years. And in 1977, he became the principal bassoonist of the Munich Philharmonic. So both of them have won more prizes than I could possibly tell you about. And again, you can read about this on their website. So today they will be talking live about the music that they're going to play. And then the music, which has been pre-recorded, you'll hear, and you will get some of their information from them. And if you have questions or comments, please chat them in. There's a function at the bottom of the screen called chat. You can just type in your questions. And if you are really challenged technologically, we'll ask you at some point at the end after they're finished playing if you have a question that you couldn't chat in, and you can raise your hand. So we hope that there are no technical glitches. Eric has really worked hard to make this run smoothly. So please forgive us if anything unexpected happens. This is the new way to be. So I just want to say one more word about Ashby Village, and Eric, maybe you can put in the link into chat it to everybody. Ashby Village and Friedrich and Rebecca are bringing this program to you at no cost, but we certainly would appreciate your donations. This is a very challenging time for artists and for nonprofit organizations like Ashby Village. So your support is very helpful. And there will be, I hope, a link on your screen soon that you can click on to make a donation. And at the end of the concert, we'll give you the link again so that if you missed it, you can try it again. So anyway, without any more comments by me, here's Friedrich and Rebecca, and they're going to tell you there is the link that will come up in the chat box. Anyhow, they're going to start, and they will tell you about the first piece that you'll hear.
All right.
The first piece is by Dutch composer Willem de Pesch.
Willem de Pesch was a Baroque composer. He was a violinist, but a composer and later on a violinist at the orchestra of Georg Friedrich Händel
In London.
And
we chose this piece. It's called Vivace. And we looked up what vivace means, and that means full of life. So we hope that our performance is full of life. Baroque times, it's interesting. The name Baroque is related to the architecture of Germany and Austria in the 1600s, 1700s. So that's what Baroque refers to. And this is a Baroque composition.
So now we'll start the first piece, Willem de Pesch, and it's Vivace. Everybody thinks Vivace should be fast, but it's not fast. Vivace means lively. And now,
Yeah, so where is it?
no, now it's supposed to come. Now it comes out. That's the movement.
Oh, how come no sound?
What's the next one?
Do you think that's
not really great, is it?
you think there it sound like that too?
This comes next.
After that, now it's sounding.
So that will be. Bravo, 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 bravo. And now this is what the first piece, I mean, over the.
How did it sound from there?
How did it sound in your place?
Sounded fine
sound
here,
wasn't-
but remember we can hear you when you talk.
Oh, here the connection wasn't very
The
good.
connection is not very good. It's the, you know, the distances and all this kind of stuff.
There's something you may have to select share computer sound, which is in the sharing control item at the top of your screen, because otherwise it just picks up the computer sound through the microphone, which is what sounds like.
Well, we'll shut up from now on.
All right. So
Our next piece is also a Baroque composer, but this time from France. We chose, we called it Around the World. We wanted examples from all the different countries that we could perform from. And this is it's called a chaconne. Now I looked up what a chaconne is, and it's interesting because the chaconne originally was a kind of a dance that came from Latin America, which we didn't know.
Yeah, I hope that is now all right because it's all different here. Anyway, now you'll hear the couperin. My picture shows something else, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know who Jane is. Jane, it looks like you're sharing your screen.
I don't know what again.
And I don't seem, I can't unstop it. Oh, here we go.
Okay. So this is another Baroque composer. Now let's be
Yeah.
quiet.
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
All right.
So our next piece is now we're going to the classics, and this is Mozart, and it's amazing because Mozart really wrote an original piece for bassoon and cello.
And he was about 20 years old, and he visited Munich at the time and wanted to become get a job at the court in Munich. He stayed with a friend. His friend was a hobby bassoonist, and so he composed that piece for him. And now it's this two pieces, Andante and Rondo Allegro, two movements of Mozart.
Jesus Christ.
What is that? You shouldn't have stopped it. You should have
There's
continued.
one more
There's
movement.
one more
Oh,
movement.
one more movement.
The rondo.
Rondo.
The
Just
roundabout. So that was our rondo, our roundabout rondo, meaning that the theme comes back all around. It comes back and it comes back and it comes back. The next piece is by maybe the most famous Baroque composer, the German composer Johann Sebastian Bach. As Victor Borges said, not Offenbach, but Johann Sebastian, not Offenbach. That was a joke. Anyway, and he was amazing because he wrote these pieces for cello solo at a time when the cellist was not such a solo instrument, and the whole world is just in this one instrument alone. This was really an innovation. And this is from the second solo suite. The suite was a French form. In those days, the Baroque composers, they took a form from France. This is a French form. And the prelude is like an introduction to the suite. And it's sort of free, but he has his own inner form to it. And so this is prelude is from the second suite in D minor for cello solo.
So that was the Bach, and I wanted to mention, although the music is not so perfect, transmitted in all the problems and everything, still something comes through, and I'm really one has to concentrate on things which gets to you. It's you can imagine it was like in the 20s, 100 years ago, when you listened behind the radio. This is how it sounded, and something still comes through, and this is what counts. It's not the perfection. It's that the perfection kills everything. You have to be imagining, like you see in an old movie. You have to imagine all the surroundings and everything. And so I thought it was good. Anyway, now comes the Hans Gall, and Hans Gall was an Austrian. He was very successful in Germany. He became as a composer and also as a teacher. He became the director of the conservatory, music conservatory, famous conservatory in Mainz, Germany. And as soon as Hitler came to power, he was fired the next day because he was Jewish. So then he went to Austria, but this, of course, didn't last much longer. And he escaped then, fortunately, last minute to England. Had a very hard time. He was imprisoned there because it was he was
Because when the war started,
yeah,
it
the
was
war
an
he was
enemy alien.
alien well, since when the war started. And anyway, fortunately, later on, he became a professor in Edinburgh because a friend of his, Sir Donald Francis Povey, asked him. And now we are playing a piece, one movement of an original piece, a cello bassoon divertimento, which he composed for cello and bassoon.
It's a little, it's called fuguetta. That means a little fugue, which means that one person starts with the theme, the next person comes in, and we're sort of chasing each other. And the one person who heard it, the German consulate in Los Angeles, he said that's like a marriage when the wife says something, the husband says something.
And they're fighting and back and forth, and that is a divertimento, that is the fight. And who has the last word? You will hear it. Well, this is, you have noticed that always the sound is faster than the picture. The picture is always behind the sound. But anyway, this is the technical problems over the centuries and everything. And also, some people are not muting their. Maybe it's Schneider, Stefan Schneider. He's the general consul from Los Angeles. And maybe he should mute. Now it's muted. Now it's fine. All right. Next piece is 2 Japanese songs. Since we were many times in Japan, we played these songs. They are originally songs which are sung by the text and everything, but now we arranged it for cello and bassoon. The first one, there are 2 again. This is for Eric, 2 pieces. And the first one is Song of the Beach, and the second one is Kurusato no
at home in the
Home Country.
In the home country. And when we played that for the emperor, the emerita, now they're not the emperor and the empress anymore. That was the old one. And then he got right in the middle of our visit. He got called off for some political business, and we said we wanted to play this first one, the Song of the Beach. And then the empress said, "Oh, don't play that yet. That's the favorite song of my husband."
That's the favorite song of the husband. Husband was the emperor. So we waited till he came back and then we played.
Furusato? No. No.
Yeah,
That's
very sad.
so our next piece that has also another story behind it. It's a piece originally by Beethoven, and we did Christmas concerts here in the church in the village, and we had a title for it. And the title of this original Beethoven piece was, which is a famous Christmas song here in Germany. The original theme comes from Friedrich Handel, who composed an oratory, Judas Maccabeus, and then they switched the theme to a Christmas song here in Germany, and it's famous in Japan. They play it for sport events, and so we titled our program on this theme. And then our pianist, who the original composition is for cello and piano, and she's 80 years old. She's marvelous, but she said, "I can't play this anymore. I can't do it." And so I had to make an arrangement for cello and bassoon.
So this is now what you will hear. Instead of 12 variations, it's 7 variations, and it's now for cello and bassoon. But you can recognize the melody, and you can also recognize the variations of Beethoven. Okay. What is that?
Are we still?
All right, so I unmuted myself because you muted us, but the thing was that we didn't make the noise, someone else made it. Maybe it was Howard Neal, no, because he, a friend of ours who joined us. Anyway, this was Beethoven, and now comes the next piece is by Benedetto Marcello. Marcello, this is a piece which is very funny because we played it in North Germany, and they wrote in the review, this piece, I don't know what's going on. They tried to be together and they were never together. It is written so cleverly that it's always behind each other, always the one before, one after, and it's never really together. So
Until the last note.
until the last note.
And they wrote, they only got together on the last note, which is how it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, but it is very difficult to play so behind each other, never together, always behind each other. So now
And this is a presto. That means
it's a presto, fast beat. So very good, we made it. We made it. This is very fun. So now,
That Ernest Bloch prayer. Now we arranged this for cello and bassoon because with Julie Freestone and Rudy Robb, we had our Stumbling Stone book. They read the book and we did the music to it. So we thought this was appropriate for the mood of the music. This Ernest Bloch was a composer born in Switzerland, and his father wanted him to stay in the business of clockmaking and watches and everything. He was so unhappy with that. He tried it, and then he went off, tried to compose, and he was unsuccessful. He couldn't make a living. He went back to the watch shop. He was unhappy, and he was fortunate when he went to America, something like 1916. Then he was successful, and he turned to wanting to write Jewish music. So his works are famous for that.
so yeah, he became.
And he taught at UC Berkeley for a time.
Now comes prayer from Ernest Bloch. Hello. So that was Ernest Bloch, and another Jewish piece is now by Max Stern. Max Stern, our friend from Israel, he composed for us songs of ascents, and this is now one of those movements.
We don't remember. We think maybe procession.
Is it procession?
I think so.
We don't know exactly which one it is, but anyway, it's one of the four. Max Stern, songs of ascents.
We forgot that one. That was the meditation. There was
Yeah.
two movements
Two
of that.
moments. Last one was the meditation. And now we come to the end of the program. This is
Another two pieces.
another two pieces. Arthur Frankenpohl. He was an American composer, and he composed two American Ragtimes for cello and bassoon. And this is now the grand finale.
Everybody probably knows Scott Duplin, the most famous ragtime composer, who wrote for the piano, and Frankenpohl, and then jazz came and everything, but the ragtimes are being revived. And Frankenpohl wrote that, I don't know, just recently.
Yeah, he passed away with age 97 or 98, 1 or 2 years ago, and he was joyful and witty till the very end. He communicated with emails and everything. They had a wonderful time.
So the first
Hey,
that-
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any,
So again, let me just say, this event was sponsored, hosted by Ashby Village in Berkeley, California. And if you would like to donate to the musicians and Ashby Village, we chatted in a donation link, so please go to it, or if you can't work it, ashbyvillage.org will also work.
any questions?
Does anybody have any comments or
Oh,
questions?
yeah, have another.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
great to see people, Friedrich and Rebecca and other people we've seen at your concerts before.
Yes,
This is a great thing. Pardon?
They moved from Pacifica to Oregon, to Portland.
Portland, Oregon. Yeah, so we have very many friends. We are honored to have Stefan Schneider. He's the general counsel of Los Angeles, and we're very happy to see all our friends and many people. And I noticed nobody was leaving. I have a list here with the participants. You know, this is always the worst when you play a concert and people are leaving, going off. You don't know if they have to go to the toilet or if they really don't like it.
And when we were doing our book tour in Germany with Friedrich and Rebecca, we always worried about how many people were going to show up. And they told us that if there were more people in the audience than on the stage, it was a good thing. So we are delighted to see way more people. And just, I want to put in a pitch here for both Friedrich and Rebecca and Ashby Village. Ashby Village, this is the essence of what Ashby Village and villages all over the nation are about. It's to connect people who might otherwise be isolated, especially during the pandemic, but in life in general, and help us age artfully and happily and with honor. Yes, reinventing aging, we say. And Friedrich and Rebecca have done a great
Good
job.
idea, great
helping
idea.
us.
Yeah.
So, Eric, do we have any comments or questions in the chat box?
Yeah, I wanted to say to Eric, I wanted to thank Eric for the great work. I'm sure he was sweating bullets. And the thing was, he did a great job. The sound and the picture was a little bit off, but one needs imagination nowadays. You know, if things are too perfect, it is never the great. You have to just imagine how things are.
Like lots of work for Eric.
But there wasn't any chats asking for a question.
Okay.
All
So
right.
thank you all for coming. Karen, are you trying to ask a question or are you waving? No, okay. So,
I'm just waiting
okay.
and saying thank you. I have to go.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and please come to other Ashby Village events. It would be great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And if anybody is interested in our things, if they write to me by email, I can send them links to YouTube which are not on public YouTube, which are unlisted, and these are our latest recordings, and they can get them really in high quality, and it's not in public, and they can listen to it on a good system. And I'd be happy to send it.
Okay, Friedrich, so why don't you put your, in the chat box, put your email.
Well, the email, they can find me on my website or the contact form from the website or
Okay.
something.
All
There's
right.
always, there are always things to find you.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming.